Who are you? You say your name, your job, your history, your personality. In. You point to your body. You describe your mind. But what if all of that is not really you? What if the self you defend, describe, and define is just a mask? What if your true identity is not separate at all, but one with everything? In the book, On the Taboo Against Knowing Who You Are, philosopher and spiritual teacher Alan Watts takes us to the edge of identity and then pushes us beyond it. He argues that Western culture has forgotten a simple but shocking truth. You are not a separate ego. You are the universe playing. This isn't theory. It's not religion. It's a reawakening. Let's begin. Chapter 1. The Taboo. There is a taboo in modern society. Not sex, not drugs, not death. The real taboo, the one nobody talks about, is the idea that you are God. Not in a mythic sense, not as a being up in the clouds, but in the sense that you are not separate from reality. That your existence is not a fluke, but an expression of the universe itself. Watts says this truth is hidden not by censorship, but by cultural conditioning. We are taught from birth. You are an individual. You are separate from nature. You must control the world. You must protect yourself from others. But this creates suffering. Because when you believe you're just a lonely ego, you spend your whole life trying to defend a delusion. Chapter 2. The game of black and white. Life, says Watts, is a game of polarity. Light and dark. Sound and silence. Self and other. Birth and death. We experience everything through contrast. You don't know who you are without knowing what you are not. But we've forgotten this is a game, a dance of opposites, not a war. We think darkness is bad. Silence is empty. Death is final. The other is enemy. But what if each of these opposites are not enemies but partners in creation? Like music needs silence. Life needs death. And self needs other. The problem, says Watts, isn't duality. It's taking duality seriously. Chapter 3. The myth of the separate self. Modern culture is built on a story. That you are an ego inside a bag of skin. A self-contained I that is here while the world is out there. But Watts challenges this, he says. You didn't come into this world. You came out of it like a wave from the ocean. Just as an apple tree apples, the universe peoples. You are not a stranger in the cosmos. You are an expression of it. The illusion of separateness comes from language, labels, and ego. But underneath those constructs is a deeper truth. There is no isolated you. There is only flow, relationship, being. Chapter 4. Control and the illusion of free will. If you are not a separate ego, then who is in control? Watts says nobody. Because control is another illusion. It's the ego's fantasy that it is the driver, the master, the agent of action. But look closer. Can you choose your thoughts? Can you will yourself to fall asleep? Can you predict your own feelings? What you call yourself is more like a process than a pilot. Trying to control life only leads to anxiety. But letting go, that's freedom. Not passivity, but participation. Not domination, but dancing with reality. Chapter 5. The universe is playing. Watts compares the universe to a game or a play. Not in the sense of being silly, but in the sense of being creative, expressive, spontaneous. Think about it. Why does a child play? Not to achieve something, but for the joy of being. That, says Watts, is what life is. Not a mission. And mission, not a test, not a trial, but a cosmic hide and seek where the universe forgets itself so it can remember. You are not here to win life. You are here to dance with it. Chapter 6. Death and the fear of non-existence. Much of our suffering comes from the fear of death, because we believe death is the end of me. But if me is not separate, then death is not a drop disappearing into the void. It's the drop returning to the ocean. Watts reminds us, trying to hold on to life is like trying to hold on to water in your hands. The fear of death is the fear of losing the illusion. But when you realize you are the process, not the persona, you see that death is just another movement in the eternal rhythm. Chapter 7. Awakening without escape. Watts warns us, awakening is not escape. It's not about becoming spiritual, or avoiding the body, or rising above. It's about seeing clearly right here. Seeing that self and other are one. That life is not a problem to be solved. That you were never broken. Enlightenment is not something to achieve. It's something to notice. Right now. In the breath. In the wind. In the absurdity. In the stillness. You are not who you think you are. You are not your name. Not your story. Not your thoughts. Not your mistakes. You are the space before those things. You are the dance between form and formlessness. You are the universe playing, forgetting and remembering. And the good news? You don't have to find this truth. You just have to stop running from it. If this helped you remember who you really are, subscribe to Real Deep Understanding. Because here, we don't just talk about ideas. We return to reality. Like this if it softened your sense of self. Comment, what part of the separate self are you ready to release? Share this with someone who's stuck in ego but ready to remember the ocean beneath the wave. You were never apart. You just forgot.